What is action? When there is no observer. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's action?
Must be a being together only and nothing else without separation.
Well, I would like to, if I may, come back to the question, you see, why are we normally doing the separation, you see, between what we observe? The brain is normally doing that anyhow. So perhaps one could say that it might be normal for the brain, whether
that may be our tradition,
yes.
That may be our education,
Yes.
that may be we have been told from childhood that is different from you. You are different from me.
But when you were introduced to him, let's say, when you were introduced to him, your perception of him at that instant was the observation without the observer. Then now, when you look at him, you've got the memory.
I begin to accumulate, the brain begin to accumulate the knowledge.
So there was an
him.
action.
He says he won't operate anymore. So I said, but Joe, is he, all the rest of it. So can I look, forget, no. My point is this, to put it much simpler, not to record.
But you did record.
I did, but that's a very
No, but that's not my
Yeah,
point. You didn't record, then you did record.
No, sir. No. Just a minute. In my relationship with you, with you all, I've recorded. Suppose I've recorded. Then that record becomes the observer.
Yes.
But if there is no record, there is only C observing.
But
Yes.
suppose we say that
Yes,
the brain is recording.
I see. No, sir. Is it possible not to record?
Well,
I know the mechanism of recording.
Well, you see, but even when
You
you...
know for something
Yeah.
else.
No, I think that's an interesting point.
Can you hold on just for a second, because I want to pursue that for one moment. But we have agreed that it is possible to observe without record. Yet,
No, is that a theory or
no,
actuality?
yes, it is possible for
No, the moment it's possible, you have made it a theory.
I think we have to agree it's a theory for us. It's a theory.
Yes, you see, that's what I'm...
We're
Yeah.
not being
I'm
honest. I don't think we're being honest.
Of course, sir.
Yeah, we're just saying yes, but we don't really believe that.
No, that's true.
You see, for example, I don't know what you say. I mean, normally science, there's a person doing science, and to a certain extent, one could say that this division between the observer and observed is necessary to a certain extent, right? When you are dealing with an experiment or with the outside world, right? So now it doesn't necessarily follow that psychologically, you see, we are doing exactly the same.
I understand, sir. Yeah, after all, as a human being, was the result of 50,000 years,
Yes.
right? Tremendous accumulation of knowledge, experience. Oh, all that I am that. And that is looking at something else. So separating itself constantly.
yeah, but also you see, this is precisely the point, that separation has to be sustained by an ongoing process which has constant breakdowns. And at the points of those breakdowns, there is that closing the gap. So in my perception, for example, of you right now, I'm constantly having gaps or flashes of this observer, and it's like cracky, it's gappy.
I say, why? Why does this
Well,
Yes, why is
is it?
contradiction all the time?
No. This is precisely the point. Why do we have to see a contradiction there?
Yes,
It
I can
seems that both
explain
things,
it. One
both
can
things are there.
explain it.
What did you say? What did you say?
No, I was actually going back to
Oh, yeah,
something
no,
that you
right, yeah.
raised, that it seems that we have both of them. Right? Observation with observer.
So
and-
at one level, yes. If I met you again tomorrow,
Yes.
I can't be reintroduced and say, you would be silly.
Yes.
But at that level, it's necessary. Right? But at a deeper level, why should I carry all the memory of meeting you and all the, why should there be recording of it at all? I meet you.
Yes.
Finish.
But didn't you just answer the question by saying that if you did one without the other, if you just met me without accumulation, then tomorrow we would have to go through the
that'd be
circus of
absurd.
presentation again.
That's very
So
insane.
therefore, both of them are
Yes,
necessary.
at one level.
Yes.
Yeah, I think what the...
Well, I would like to hear you say more about what I've never heard you use those words, level. What do you mean by levels, and what is the relationship to levels, between levels in your terms?
I think it's very simple.
I'm stupid, I don't understand.
I'm stupid.
That makes three of us.
Yeah, or
So I need to know how to write a letter, right? Their knowledge is necessary. Drive a car, anything. Physically, to do anything, I must have a great deal of information, knowledge, and accumulated memory and so on, right? Yes. Psychologically, if you don't like to use that word, inwardly, why should I accumulate? Why should there be accumulation?
Yes, but if I understood well what you were saying, Francisco, and you, even when you say that the brain does not record, there's still a process of recognition, you see, which necessarily must involve certain levels of memory.
We said that.
Yes. So
We
you
said
see-
that.
So what do you mean by when the brain does not record?
Is that possible, first of all? Psychologically not to record. You understand my question?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but
You say something brutal to me.
Yes.
Why should I record it? This recording is the self.